Ekwebu, come on in the house. Nini, welcome. I'm Queen Mother Imaku, and it's my pleasure to be back with you again with another message. And I'm so happy for all the feedback that I've received on the last message regarding the understanding of the Kemetic origin of Mami Wata. Now, there were terms that you heard me use yesterday, Njuzu and Simbi, referring to the water guardians, the African water guardians. And we are in a season where we are going to be honoring many of them. Now, they come in serpent form, and serpents represent wisdom, but they also come in other forms of various aquatic animals. And what is their purpose? They are the messengers. They're the ones who connect you to your ancestors. They connect you to messages from your guardians. They are mercurial, okay? And they also bring you insights and wisdom. Now, I shared yesterday about messages that you get in your dreams. So it's pretty common for the Simbi or Njusu water guardians to come in a dream or dreams in order to give you a foreshadowing of things to come, oftentimes bringing you warnings, but also bringing you good news of things that you can look out for. So they are very much tied in with the first eye energy. And so, as we call it, and so I shared with you yesterday that is known as the Wujat, and that also associated with the Wujat is Wajet. Wajet, who is the green lady and who is the healer. Wajet, as I'd written many years back, is the origin of the word witch, and the witch is the healer. The term has been very much denigrated, and when you understand the ancient history of the women as the healers, not only of the household but also of a community, the ones who knew about the sacred herbs, who knew about what was the function of this plant and what would this produce, but then also understood about mysticism because they had a closeness to the environment and to the elements. They were healers. And your health is your wealth is a concept that came out of ancient Kemet because Waj and Wajet also represents your health, but also bringing great wealth, as green represents, and since green is the color, and Waj is green. I also shared about Waj Or, who is akin to Agwe in the Haitian Loa tradition of Guinéen or Haitian Vodun. Now, uh, for the Kemetic Nechuru, Kemetic guardians, there are so many of the Njutu or Njusu or Simbi, and they come in the form of birds as well. You know, just like I said yesterday about Jehuti, who is represented in one form as an ibis, which is the bird that stands on one leg in the lake and represents wisdom. Also, someone who is an arbiter, you know, the go-between, someone who also can be a divine judge, but someone also who has the role of the Shesmicher, which is the peacemaker. And so that's a vital role in this tradition. Um, so many others. I mentioned about Renenutet or Renenutet. She is the cobra of the harvest. Did I mention Renenutet yet? Maybe I didn't. Renenutet is also, this actually is her cycle. And she is the cobra guardian, and also she is the one who brings the harvest. Now, we celebrate her later in the year as well, and we're talking about, for us, what is the fall season, because we know, at least here in the States, that that is congruent with when we have the bounty of the harvest of all the things that have been grown. We've celebrated, of course, all the wonderful produce that comes because of the farming season and the result thereof. And then when we come into the harvest season, which also coincides with ushering in Heru season, we also honor Renenutet then. But in this cycle, which actually started February, what is it? February 14th. Yes. I should have come and mentioned that then, but there's still time to honor her. And also March, it runs to March 15th, 16th. These are the times for Renenutet and also Wajet. And this is a time to really pay very close attention to your dream messages. They might seem kind of intense. We've had so much astrological activity going on, and now we've got another red moon that's coming up in a couple of days. I'll come back to you with that. So there's so much going on. We, of course, dealt with the retrograde cycle of Venus, which we're still in. And true to form, some of my former loves have popped up. And dear friends that I haven't spoken to in a while, who I'm very cool with. In fact, you know, it's really funny as I was cleaning my house today. And by the way, Simbi's water spirits, water guardians, love things clean and quiet. I'll get to the quiet part. But I'm cleaning my house and I'm just really enjoying cleaning my house, and you know, the whole thing about getting your house together and trying to make sure everything is right, because with the Simbi, they really need things to be clean. And this also includes Dambala or Dambala Wedo or Dambala and Aida Wedo, but generally together, Dambala Wedo is celebrated on March 17th, which is considered St. Patrick's Day. Some honor them on March 19th, but St. Patrick's Day is most common because there is an association there. Y'all can look that up. But Dambala is the creator cobra, and he represents purity. He is a white serpent, although black serpents are associated with him too, and colors of purity, and black is considered a color of purity, believe it or not, because of the power of it having all of the colors in one. White, which represents the absence of color, represents another level of purity, but both are equally balanced and honored with Dambala. Aida Wedo is the rainbow serpent, and so she celebrates all of the colors of the rainbow. You know, some people read a lot more into that, but you can look her up too. You don't have to read a whole lot into it. I mean, she celebrates life. Her energy is beautiful, and she is all welcoming, all loving, as many of the Simbi tend to be. How about that? But anyway, so I'm here. I'm getting my house together, and you know, because every single day it's supposed to be important to keep your house clean and orderly, because that's what the Simbi appreciate. So I'm here, and I'm thinking, I'm going through so much trouble to keep this place clean and make sure it's peaceful and quiet in the way that I like it. And you know, I'm not letting anybody in my house. I'm only, you know, y'all know, for those who have followed me, you know, I'm very particular about who I let in my house. So today I'm thinking, yeah, I'm not gonna let anybody in. I'm just gonna keep things nice and peaceful and clean and not worry about anybody coming in and destroying my stuff. And then I get this phone call from a dear friend. He says, "Hey, you home?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Okay, I'm in the neighborhood. I want to stop by and see you." And at first, I'm thinking, what did you say before? And then I'm thinking, you know, you want to see him. This is your dear friend. You know, he's not going to tear up your house. So I said, okay, come on over. But it's good when you have people that you know are going to respect your space. I'm not going to ask you a lot of questions, especially being a spiritual person, because certainly there are enough interesting things here. In fact, I have to tell you a funny story. In December, a young family came by. Their little 2-year-old was running around. He's 2 or 3. And as soon as he came in, he saw some of my statuary And he right away pointed and said, "Toy, toy." And I said, "No, no, no." Okay. And I did realistically come to the conclusion that my house is just not a child friendly house. But then also, there are certain adults, like I told you yesterday, I ain't letting in no more either. Okay. But it's good to have people who bring positive energy and love and who appreciate you and who have some home training, who to come into your house and enjoy your space. And it's funny because he actually stayed longer than he expected because, he said, your house is just so comfortable all the time. So, those are good times, and it's good to be able to celebrate with people who you consider friends. And I had to admit to myself, okay, I do love it when friends come over. All right. Certain people. So, okay. So this is Wajet and Renenutet cycle. And their days in particular are, well, for Renenutet, like I said, from February 14th, how about that, to March 15th, 16th. And I love that because my birthday is March 16th. And I'm sandwiched between Renenutet and Wajet cycle and the holy days of Dambala Wedo, right? Because some people celebrate 3 days for Dambala Wedo, which would be the 17th, 18th, 19th. So I consider myself to be extremely blessed. And of course, it makes sense that I'm called to this and that this is what's expected in my life in terms of being a Nanga, a water priestess, a healer in this tradition. And so this is not just about paying close attention to your dreams. This is also about paying close attention to everything. Everything. Now, in ancient Kemet, this time of year would have been considered the Peret, or spring, at the end of spring going into Shamu, which is the fall or harvest. But we're here, okay? At least I'm here, and we have a different set of cycles in this part of the world. So we actually give respect to both. We do. We have to be realistic about the fact that we're here and honor the energy of where you are right now, and also seeing how it's consistent with what's happening in the world. Just like the next Simbi season is the one that comes around the quote unquote Christmas holidays. And there's a lot of congruency there as well when Simbi and Renenutet are recognized. And Renenutet is a Kemetic guardian, and Simbi is in the various Loa traditions, okay? And then, of course, Makaya is celebrated, which is a really big holiday cleansing, purification season at the end of the year that celebrates Simbi Makaya and does an Andezo and Simbi Tulo. But there are so many, many Simbi Loa. Look it up. Look it up. But I find it so interesting how the Kemetic calendar lines up with the Haitian Guinean calendar. Again, the influence of ancient Kemet upon not only our African-centered religions, but also on global traditions. But I really believe that our ancestors set things up for us so that we are able to still maintain some consistency in the energy that we are in the energy that we acknowledge, and the energy that we celebrate, and how we're able to best pull those energies from our surroundings, and also that's in the atmosphere in general, and also within us, to a place that takes us higher. Higher consciousness comes from being around people of higher consciousness, and also people who do good things, and people who are focused on making themselves better by going within and also serving without. So certainly honor this cycle, honor all the best that it brings. And, some people might think that we're kind of OCD in the Kemetic tradition because we're always cleaning. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. As long as you're able to live and enjoy your surroundings, then there's absolutely nothing wrong with that in my book. I refer to it as being extremely sachat. Sachat is all about order, just like she's tied in with my eight, and they're all about bringing order. And she brings Sachat brings organization of systems and creation of systems and all of that. But above and beyond, in general, spiritually, it's believed that if you maintain a clean home and clean thoughts, then you will have a really clean and orderly life. Not saying that anything would run perfectly, but at least you have excellence that you are creating, that you are maintaining, and that you are continuing to elevate into. So I think I said everything that I needed to say regarding. Oh, wait. Okay. So silence. They love silence. Now, what's interesting is, I've been to a number of beach ceremonies where we're honoring the ancestors who have died. Well, they're not really our ancestors because they're not blood relations as far as we know. I mean, they've gone overboard and their journey generally ended unless they had family members that were able to make it over here. But in general, we still acknowledge them because of the fact that they sacrificed themselves. Some jumped overboard on the ships of enslavement, carrying human cargo, and others were thrown overboard. And so we honor that with great sadness and understanding that their bones are littering the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. Well, I don't want to say littering, that they rest at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. And we believe that their spirits are still there and very much connected with the ocean, and that some of them may have transitioned into becoming water beings. Others are believed to be brought down into or associated with the realm under the waves, as we had talked about yesterday. And they have various names in African traditions. There's a name in Brazil in the Umbanda tradition that it's called, I'll have to save that for next time because it's not really coming to me. I was sharing that Guinan is the belief in Haitian Vodun traditions about where the ancestors go and who they become water guardians as well. And of course, in Mami Wata tradition in general and in Kemet, it goes on and on. But here's my point. So, like I mentioned yesterday about how I was drumming before my initiation 2 days in a row. But I wasn't like, no, I was very gently drumming and honoring honoring nature, not wanting to disturb the life that was there, but also because of the fact that Don Miguel Ortiz Hill told me that the water spirits like quiet. They like drumming, but they don't like it loud. In fact, there is another Ursuli who is Matres Denai, yes. And she is the sort of like the mermaid of the tambourine. So she governs the sacred sounds that deal with shaking, so rattles, drums that are very gently played. And don't get it wrong, because Simbis also love music and they love dance, but they just don't want you to come bring in some thunder to them. And so here we are with these different ceremonies, going to the beach to honor those who are lost at sea, and also in honoring the African water spirits that we hold so dear. And we come bringing huge contingents of drummers rather, and people just, hollering and shouting and all this other stuff and taking their offerings and throwing them in the water. Let me just tell you something. Don't ever, ever throw your flowers, your fruit, whatever your offering is, into the water. Because how would you like it if somebody came to your house and just pulled the window wide open and just threw some stuff in? No, no, no. You have to respect the waves, respect the water, respect the environment, respect all the life that lives there. Yes? You gently lay your offering down, or you can leave it on the beach in an area where you know the tide is going to pull it in. Never, ever throw it, ever. And so I just want to also just tip you off about the fact that you should not go in noisy mode. You should go in quiet reverence. Quiet reverence. Okay? I believe that's all I wanted to share with you today. 21 minutes. Okay, short and sweet. I was hoping it was going to be coming in about 10 o'clock, 10 minutes, but hey. So I hope that you have a really wonderful Renenutet, Simbi, and Njuzu cycle. Honor your life force, because ultimately the serpents and the water spirits represent your life force and also supreme wisdom. And pay attention again to your dreams. And I pray that you have some really positive messages that come through them, and that you're able to connect in a really beautiful way with your ancestors at this time and every day. We say Merea, which means much love. Heri, which means be at peace. Teni, which means to be accountable. Jebewi, which means to be merciful and compassionate in appropriate ways at the appropriate times. Yes, indeed. And reminding you also, Min Nichim. Stay sweet.